Born on January 11, 1887, Aldo Leopold is considered by many to have been the most influential conservation thinker of the 20th century. Leopold's legacy spans forestry, wildlife management, conservation biology, sustainable agriculture, restoration ecology, private land management, environmental history, literature, education, and ethics. He's published more than 500 articles, essays, and reports, and his papers contain at least 500 or more unpublished essays, reports, and memoranda. But he is most commonly known as the author of a Sand County Almanac, one of the most respected books about the environment ever published, because it introduces the biological community as interdependent populations. Early in his career, Leopold was assigned to exterminate bears, wolves, and mountain lions in New Mexico due to livestock losses. However, Leopold came to respect the animals. He began to develop an ecological ethic that replaced the need for human dominance. He advocated the scientific management of wildlife habitats by both public and private landholders rather than a reliance on game refuges, hunting laws, and other methods intended to protect specific species of desired game. Leopold viewed wildlife management as a technique for restoring and maintaining diversity in the environment rather than primarily as a means of producing a suitable surplus. He no longer saw the concept of wilderness as a hunting or recreational ground, but as an arena for a healthy biotic community which included wolves, mountain lions, and bears. His writing is distinguished by its directness. His depictions of various natural environments displayed intimacy with what exists and happens in nature. He offered frank criticism of the harm he believed was frequently done to natural systems out of a sense of a culture or society's sovereign ownership over the land base, eclipsing any sense of a community of life to which humans belong. When he graduated from Yale with a Master of Forestry degree in 1909, he became associated with the newly formed United States Forest Service. In that same year, Leopold was assigned to the Forest Service's District 3 in the Arizona and New Mexico territories. He was first a forest assistant at the Apache National Forest in the Arizona Territory. In 1911, he was transferred to the Carson National Forest in northern New Mexico. By 1912, Leopold was supervisor of the Carson National Forest. Leopold's career included developing the first management plan for the Grand Canyon, writing the Forest Service's first game and fish handbook, and proposing the Gila Wilderness Area, the first national wilderness area in the Forest Service system. In 1918, Leopold served as the secretary of Albuquerque's Chamber of Commerce. At this time, he promoted the creation of what would later become the Rio Grande Valley State Park. Leopold's vision and efforts also eventually led to the creation of the Rio Grande Zoological Park, Botanical Gardens, and the Rio Grande Nature Center. By the early 1920s, Leopold had concluded that a particular kind of preservation should be embraced in the national forests of the American West, which he was most prompted to do because of the widespread construction of roads for the rampant automobiles. Over the next 2 decades, he added ethical, scientific rationales to his defense of the wilderness concept. In 1924, he transferred to the U.S. Forest Products Laboratory in Madison, Wisconsin, and became an associate director. Later, he chaired the country's first Department of Game Management and the Agriculture Economics Department at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. In 1935, he helped found the Wilderness Society, dedicated to expanding and protecting the nation's wilderness areas. He regarded the society as one of the focal points of a new attitude, an intelligent humility towards man's place in nature. He purchased about 80 acres in the Sand County of central Wisconsin. The once forested region had been logged, swept by repeated fires, overgrazed by dairy cows, and left barren. There he put his theories to work in the field and eventually wrote his best-selling A Sand County Almanac in 1949. He finished just prior to his death. Leopold died of a heart attack while battling a wildfire on a neighbor's property on April 21, 1948. Aldo Leopold has had many foundations formed associated with his ecological work. A few are the Aldo Leopold Foundation, which is a group that goes around and plants a variety of plants around parks and other forests, and they do this in order to have a better nature and healthier environment. The Aldo Leopold Nature Center was established in 1994 as an independent, not-for-profit charitable organization. Its mission is to provide educational programs and interactive exhibits which teach the students to see the land, to understand what he sees, and to enjoy what he understands. Over the past 18 years or so, it grew into a premier destination for tens of thousands of school children and their teachers to learn about the environment. Green Fire is the first full-length documentary film ever made about Aldo Leopold. It highlights his extraordinary career, tracing how he shaped and influenced the modern environmental movement. Leopold remains relevant today, inspiring projects all over the country that connect people and land. Leopold is still referenced regarding ecological issues and modern-day curiosity as to what Leopold, being the father of ecology, would think. Some of these issues include Wisconsin's ambition for industrial wind turbines. While to most wind turbines are associated with clean energy and whatnot, they are the antithesis of what Leopold believed. He apparently would be appalled at the thousands of acres of Wisconsin ecosystems disrupted by the audible noise, shadow flicker, inaudible low-frequency noise, infrasound, electrical pollution emitted, and the unresolved issues of high bird and bat mortality. His regards to ecological ethics include that land as a community is the basic concept of ecology, but that land is to be loved and respected in an extension of ethics. And this certain wind turbine disagreement would most likely be considered as his credence that we abuse land because we regard it as a commodity belonging to us. When we see land as a community to which we belong, we may begin to use it with love and respect. Leopold was influential in the development of modern environmental ethics and in the movement for wilderness conservation. His ethics of nature and wildlife preservation have had a profound impact on the environmental movement based on his holistic ethics regarding land and humans. He encouraged biodiversity and ecology and was the founder of the science of wildlife management. All of the information for this video were extracted from the following web pages: the Aldo Leopold Archives from the University of Wisconsin Digital Collections, the Leopold Center for Sustainable Agriculture from Iowa State University, the Albuquerque official city website, the National Historical Publications and Records Commission, the North Central Research Station from the USDA Forest Service, the Wisconsin State Journal, as well as the LA Times, Green Bay Press Gazette, the Hindu, and Buffalo News. Additional resources were extracted from Goodreads.com and archival resources in Wisconsin.